Hi, it's Rabbi Jeremy from Mahar, and I'm here for our Words on Wednesday for this week. In the past few weeks, really almost the past 2 months, we've been talking about words that are really related to big holidays that just happened. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, Simchat Torah. But there's a holiday that happens every week that's actually a big holiday that we haven't talked about very much. And so this week and next week we'll be talking about that more. And that holiday is Shabbat. Usually it's a pretty safe bet that if I ask you, what's the next Jewish holiday? Shabbat is usually a pretty good guess. Because Shabbat happens every week and the other ones don't. So we'll talk about 2 words related to Shabbat. And those 2 words are going to be Shabbat and the word Shavu'a. So first, Shabbat. Shabbat means Shabbat, right? So the word Shabbat comes from a Hebrew root, shin bet tav, that means to stop or to cease or to rest. So we get the name Shabbat from the idea that Shabbat is a day of rest, a day when you don't do work. And the Torah calls it Shabbat, and the Torah uses shin bet tav, Shabbat, as a verb to talk about the kind of resting that happens. And it does it really, really early on in the very first book of the Torah, in the very second chapter, in the very first story we find in the Torah. So the first 2 chapters of the Torah, Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2, have 2 different myths about how the world was created. And the first myth is all of chapter 1 and a little tiny bit of chapter 2. And in chapter 2, it actually says that Yahweh rests, vayish bot, and he rested, and he stopped from working. So that's related to the word Shabbat, and so that's how we kind of come across the idea of Shabbat as stopping work. Stopping work can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For people who are very concerned about following traditional Jewish law, stopping work doesn't just mean not going to work. Stopping work means not doing a whole lot of other activities that are considered to be work. So people won't cook, people sometimes won't brush their teeth, people won't take showers, people sometimes won't tear toilet paper, they won't turn on lights, they won't cook new things. The idea is you are stopping work. And work in traditional Jewish law was defined as all the things you have to do to kind of make things go during the week. So you don't even make coffee on Saturday mornings. Tell your grown-ups. Traditional Jewish law says no coffee on Saturday mornings, and they will probably laugh and say, I'm still making coffee. I do too. For some people, Shabbat isn't stop doing all of the things that you do, but is more about resting from work or changing how you spend Friday night through Saturday night to make it different, to make it maybe more restful, but to mark that day as different. So a lot of people do something called a tech Shabbat, where they will actually turn off their cell phones, turn off their iPads, turn off their tablets, turn off their smartphone, turn off the smartwatch, turn off the computers, and put them away for 25 hours, because Shabbat is actually 25 hours long. They'll put them away for 25 hours. And then, when Shabbat is over, they'll take them back out. But it means that they're not responding to all of the things that happen in the world all the time, because that is really, really sometimes hard to deal with. That day gives people a break. Some people try to mark it as special just by doing something they can't do during the week. For a lot of us, that means that during the week, we're running to soccer games and running to baseball games and running to lacrosse and running to swimming and running to Model United Nations and piano lessons and guitar lessons and violin lessons and all of the things that we do on top of school and work. And that means that we don't get to spend a lot of time with each other. And Shabbat sometimes is just a time to be able to do that. It's Friday night. We're going to not do a bunch of these other things, and instead we're going to stay together for the evening as a family. That's another way that people make Shabbat work for their homes. And any way that you do Shabbat is a good way, because Shabbat is there to make life feel a little bit better and a little more calm. So that was Shabbat and the idea of resting or stopping. The other word that I talked about was Shavu'a. So Shavu'a is the Hebrew word for week. The Hebrew word for week is actually just a word that means 7. So Shin Bet Ayin is the Hebrew root that means 7. Shavu'a has those 3 letters in it. Having those 3 letters in the root in that order lets us know Shavu'a, the week, is about something having to do with 7, and it has to do with 7 days. How do we know the week has 7 days? I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's kind of keying off of the Torah, which says that a week has 7 days. But Shavu'a means something that has 7, something that's cut into 7, and in this case, it happens to be the week. But what do you think we call the days of the week in Hebrew? We don't say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We actually do something a little bit different. So Sunday in Hebrew is Yom Rishon. Yom Rishon just means first day. Monday is Yom Sheni, second day. Tuesday is Yom Shlishi, the third day. Wednesday, you can see where this is going, right? Wednesday is Yom Revi'i, the 4th day. Thursday is Yom Hamishi, the 5th day. Friday is Yom Shishi, the 6th day. But we don't actually say Yom Shvi'i. We don't say 7th day when we name the Hebrew names of the week. The days of the week in Hebrew are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th day, and then Shabbat. So even though we know the week has 7 days, even though we call the week by the name 7 in Hebrew, we're essentially saying the week is a thing, Shavu'a, a thing that's been cut into 7ths. Even though we know all of that, we still don't say 7th day, we say Shabbat. And when Shabbat ends on Saturday night, people traditionally greet one another by saying Shavua Tov, which means have a good week. So I'm telling you now, Shavua Tov, have a good week, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye.